much, now we swallow.
UFC President Dana White has reignited his feud with former heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, now the PFL Super Fights heavyweight champion, after a first-round knockout win over Renan Ferreira last Saturday. Commenting on Ngannou's successful PFL debut, White dismissed the accomplishment, labeling Ngannou as all about the money. He argued that the 38-year-old could have earned more if he had chosen to remain with the UFC, a decision that Ngannou ultimately turned down in January 2023 after his contract expired. This departure followed a year-long recovery from a knee injury that Ngannou sustained while securing a victory over interim heavyweight champion Cyril Gane at UFC 270 in early 2022. Ngannou's move to the PFL opened new doors, including a multi-fight contract that allowed him to book high-profile boxing bouts against prominent fighters like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. While Ngannou did not win those matches, he displayed his star power and brought significant viewership to the events, highlighting his growing influence in combat sports outside the UFC. Despite Ngannou's success, White remains vocal about his disapproval of the fighter's departure from the UFC. White, known for his straightforward commentary, asserted, "Nobody wants to fight in the King PFL except for Francis." He further claimed that he had considered cutting Ngannou after back-to-back losses in 2018, but decided against it after someone within the UFC begged him to keep Ngannou on the roster. Given White's apparent reluctance to retain him back then, his lingering frustration over Ngannou's achievements in the PFL is intriguing. White also resurrected claims about Ngannou's supposed reluctance to fight Jon Jones, despite the narrative suggesting otherwise. After Ngannou's 2021 victory over Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title at UFC 260, White speculated that Jones might avoid the heavyweight division entirely, a statement he made when Jones was contemplating his next move. At the time, White questioned the seriousness of both fighters in pursuing the matchup, suggesting that Jones was hesitant rather than Ngannou. Currently, Jones is slated to defend the UFC heavyweight title against Stipe Miocic at UFC 309 on November 16. This will mark Jones' first defense since capturing the title in March 2023 after overcoming a shoulder injury. Despite White's claims, Ngannou has remained largely diplomatic in his responses, affirming that his exit from the UFC was primarily to secure more control over his career. His new PFL deal has given him the autonomy he sought, allowing him to negotiate his fights and endorsements freely. In an August press conference, Ngannou responded subtly to White's remarks, saying, "The guy who controls the narrative can say what he wants." Ngannou maintained that he had, in fact, sought a fight with Jones, but did not want it to become a trap that could bind him to another restrictive UFC contract. Ngannou's journey, marked by his assertive decision to break free from UFC restrictions, has carved a new path for him in the combat sports world.